What is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Raid Shadow Legends. Today is Thursday, right? So we have a few things still going on in the event schedule that is going to be kicking off tomorrow. Namely, we have a Summon Rush for those of you who are still continuing on with the Cassandra Odyssey Titan event. And for some reason beyond my understanding, I actually am deciding to go a little bit further. And that's mostly because I was engaging in some of these other Shard Summon events that got me very close to a 5 red soul for Cassandra. So I am tomorrow going to be doing a video on the Summon Rush. We're going to be talking about that because I think the calendar gives us a good idea about what's coming there. Also, in the calendar, there's a few other things, including the warm up fusion, which hasn't shown up. The warm up fusion warm up event, which hasn't actually showed up in the events here just yet as a recording, anyways, but it is in the calendar, which suggests to me that the fusion is not so far away. We're going to talk about that and more. Now, before we get started, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started playing Raid yet, what are you waiting for? Download using that QR code in the top right hand of the screen to get Tholan Falbeard absolutely free. And also these amazing 3 epics to go alongside. And we have Allure, we have Rector Drath, and we have Ruella at accounts level 10, 20, and 30. Also, don't forget that you can get another, in this case, a Void Legendary Champion by the name of Tuhanarak, and all you have to do is use the promo code Desert Queen within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. Okay, now if you go into the calendar, the event calendar, of course, you can see some of the things that are still ongoing, right? There's just a few more things, right? That's not currently running. Now, when it comes to the Deck of Fates, actually, I mostly skipped this. This was stuff that I grinded out with the event dungeon milestone and the Ice Golem turn attack. And I guess this will be over before the final dungeon, which by the way there is still. I don't think it's shown up yet in game. Let's pull one. I don't think that's gonna matter really in the grand scheme of things. I got 20 Eagle points. I don't think that's gonna allow me to skip anything else. But yeah, I'm not doing the rest of the deck of fates. I have done pretty much everything else, though. I'm currently sitting at 1,310 Odyssey points at this point. I'm just gonna take it to the end. We have champion training that's ongoing right now, so again, that's going to be another 100 points there for me. And then we have the summon rushes, which is going to be worth 200, which is a lot. And then we have the Fire Knight's turn attack, which is going to be tomorrow, basically after when this Ice Golem turn attack ends. So I suppose it's probably going to show up pretty soon, or by the time you're watching this video, maybe it's already showed up in the tournament section, and that's it. Right, that's just to go back to the calendar. That's all that is. You can see Fire Knight's tournament here, or sorry, turn attack is going to be showing up tomorrow, right on Friday, alongside Summon Rush, which is also going to be worth 200 points tomorrow. Now, I do want to say, and this is something that you should prepare for if you're doing this event. Maybe you know what? There's probably going to be a 10x some other assassin's character, right? They always do these kinds of things, but the portal is yellow or orange or whatever color you want to call that for sacred shards. So that means the sacred shards are probably going to be a 2x rate tomorrow. Why do I think that? Well, if you go back to the champion chases previously, champion chase just from last week had a blue portal, and it was a 2x ancient shard. Now, I'm just starting to pay attention to this, and it seems to line up. Can we go back to the other champion chase? Might still be there, right? Because we had 2 in a row. Over here, it was a red portal because they had a 2x primal, right? Actually, it was 2x primal for everything, so that happened as well. So I just started to notice this. I don't know how long they've been doing that, but it seems to be pretty indicative that there is going to be something Sacred Shard related. And they already ran this weird 1+1 during the week when there was no shard summoning event going on. Some people bid on this apparently. I don't. You should watch my video that I did a couple days ago talking about baits and traps and the dark secrets of summon and shard events and all this stuff, because I feel like a lot of people fall into these traps when they don't realize that they're doing it. Hopefully, the ones who are pulling for it are doing it knowingly, but always make sure that you're using your shards as currency for events, whether it's a summon rush event, whether it's a fusion event, a path event, whatever it is, right? That's important to make sure that you hold on to them. And also, and I want to say this again, don't discount those green shards. Mystery shards can make a pretty big deal when it comes to your event clearing. I have 4,000 of them. Hopefully, by the time by Summon Rush for next fusion, I have a little bit more, because I'm hoping to leverage these mystery shards to get the February fusion completed. I do have quite a few sacred shards, but I am making sure that I have a nest egg for Bayek because I'm hoping that, like Leonardo, the turtles, that Bayek is a path event with shards to get points, and I believe Leo cost me in the realm of I'd have to go back and check my video, but I think it was somewhere in the 18 to 20 range of sacred shards to get him unlocked, and then the red stars are worth like 12 or 13. So like the grand total, if you wanted to go all in on him, was like 30 something sacred shards, which is a lot. So I want to make sure that I always have enough for a Bayek event that just might just show up at random. Although I'm not really expecting that to happen until like March, I think, later March perhaps. We'll see. We're kind of a lot of this is judging on like the timelines for the Turtles events. It could be totally different with the Assassins, but I want to make sure that I'm not like caught off guard, which is why I'm holding on to my sacred shards. And if you're doing the same, or if you're doing something similar and you're holding your resources for Assassins events, make sure that you're saving your resources, or you're thinking about this anyways. Now we have the warm up event. Like I said, this is going to be starting tomorrow. So you can say that it starts in 23 hours. I don't know why. Maybe it's just gonna pop up randomly. I guess in game. Maybe there's no countdown for this one. It doesn't say how you're gonna get points for it, but usually sometimes they either ask you to spend energy, they either ask you to upgrade gear, or they ask you to like summon mystery shards. The problem is with the mystery shard one, anyways, because the last one was a mystery shard summon. You actually wasted more points on mystery shards. Like they wanted you to summon like 100, or it was like I'm pretty sure it was 100, like maybe 20 a day or something like this, to get an ancient shard, which in a summon rush context is only worth 20 points. So like I hope this is just energy spending or gear upgrading or something a little bit easier to get this stuff, because sometimes I do actually skip this. But that means that we have a fusion event. So this is running until the warm up is running until the beginning of Tuesday. And normally the fusion does start on that last day or so of the warm up event. So that means we're basically getting the February fusion event Monday 9, at the latest Tuesday 10. Why? Because it runs through Valentine's Day, and that's just how it's always been. Now, if you watch my previous video, you would know that there are two possible options of characters that are going to be coming out as the Valentine's fusion, and it's looking pretty likely that they're going to be a Fragment fusion. The Fragment fusions are actually good for a couple of reasons, namely because Fragment fusions are quote unquote easier to clear for a few reasons. That if you get at least, say, 50 shards out of 100, or is it 50 or 55? I think it's 50 shards. If you get at least 50 shards, then you could potentially purchase the rest of the shards that you missed out on. Now, this is mainly for non-free to play players, but at the very end, they allow you to mass buy fragments as long as you're at 50 out of 100. Now, it's the cost of, I believe, 10 US dollars per five, so it's not that cheap. But you could also argue that it is cheap for a character, I guess. If you want to skip, say, some of the shard summoning events and you want to hold on to your shards instead of completing the event, I've known people to just get to 75 or 70 or 75 or whatever out of 100, and then just spend the extra $50 to finish the character off. Right? That's something that's definitely happened. I feel a bit weird about unless there's a reason why I didn't do these events, like I'm on holiday or something like that, and I was just away. But it does give that opportunity for people, who weren't paying total attention, who were away, who were on holiday or whatever, to kind of make up the fragments that way through a little bit of spending. Usually, the fragments events are also just easier. You don't have to upgrade any, or you don't have to level up any fusion characters. You don't have to level up any epics, any rares, and so on to fuse them in the portal. And so overall, you're just clearing the events. You're picking up the fragments, and then you're eventually summoning them, right? And the other good thing about fragment summon events is that you can hold on to them. So if you're not desperate for the character, you can hold on to them, and then you can use them for future champion chase events, because fragments like this, you can summon them during a champion chase tournament, and then this will give you additional points for that, for say a future fusion. Also, we don't know how, right? Only one of the two Valentine characters are going to be the fusion character. The other one is going to be some other release. Sometimes that's just a shard release where you just have to summon them on a progressive chance. Maybe there might be a guaranteed deck of fates or some other event, that they might do for this. That's something that we'll have to wait and see. And I imagine that over the next few days, they will officially announce the characters that are coming for next patch. The kits and stuff like that, that's important, which I don't know of either. And it'll be really interesting to know how good is this February Fusion event going to be, because a lot of us, well, we know, right? March is the anniversary month, which means, and given that the Assassin's Creed collab is still running, that's kind of a double whammy, both on the Assassin's Creed events for the guaranteed champions, and also that March fusion, who is probably going to be very impactful in Raid Shadow Legends, and something that we want to keep in mind with our resources. So, let me know in the comments down below what your plans are for February, or for the fusion, or for this month. Are you Does it depend on maybe it depends on the faction, maybe it depends on the kit, and how meaningful it is. But I think a lot of people want to make sure that they do the March fusion, because it's almost always it's been very powerful. So that's something to keep in mind. And if you can't do both, it might be better to wait and do the March. That's just my thoughts. But if you have the means to do the February fusion, we'll see what the kit looks like, and we'll talk about it here on the channel, of course. Now, before we get going, I do want to remind people that if you still haven't made a new account yet, what are you waiting for? Download using the QR code in the top right hand of the screen to get Tholan and these 3 amazing epics, Allure, Rector Drath, and Ruella at level 10, 20, and 30. And also you can get yourself another, in this case, Void Legendary Champion, great support champion named Hanorok. All you have to do is use the promo code Desert Queen within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. That's it for me, everybody, and I'll see you all on the next video. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.